Hello and welcome to AfriDominion. I am Freeman Singirankabo, and thank you so much for tuning into our program today. And for those of you joining us live for the very first time, welcome, welcome. We are so thrilled and happy that you can take some time out of your busy schedule to join our program today. And if you are here for the very first time, especially those of you joining us live from the social media, I want to give you a huge welcome and letting you know that we are so thrilled that you can take some time out of your busy schedule to join the program. Be sure to subscribe to our content, and especially in various languages and platforms that we are using, so that you can be a part of the force or the driving force towards our solutions and the issues that we have. Reach us out on our website, which is www.afridominion.com. www.afridominion.com. And with that in mind, guys, I'm on a time box right now. I'm on a time box about what 5 to 8 minutes. This is going to be a short program for a very one of the special program for a particular platforms that I'm doing, and then after the first 9 minutes, I probably am going to be a bit more direct, a little bit more in depth of what I want to talk to you about. But the question that I have right now, the topic of conversation that I would like to share with you, it goes as follow: Where do we start in storing peace and stability in the DRC while dealing with painful memories? That's what I really want to talk to you guys about. Where do you start in restoring peace and stability in the DRC while you're still dealing with painful memories? Yesterday, I spent some time in one of the social media gathering on online, and brothers and sisters from the DRC were discussing issues that are happening, and I saw how passionate that they were about the issues, how hurt, genuinely hurt that they were, and a sense of just wanting to say, "Listen to me, acknowledge me." And I noticed that first and foremost, there has to be a process where you can actually channel what's on your heart. You have to be listened to. You have to be acknowledged. There are things that are necessary before you can tackle the issues at hand. And I realized that the majority of us, when you get the courage just to speak up, you may not have the tools necessary to do the rest that you have to do. But that willingness to want to have the solution, it is what I want to commend my brothers and sisters in the DRC that you're doing right now. Um, we have gone through that. Personally, I'm from Rwanda, and in Rwanda, we have gone through a share of crazy things happening. We speak publicly against all the things that are destroying brothers and sisters on the African continent, brothers and sisters in the Great Lakes region, including Rwanda. We do not hold our tongue towards what we believe has to change. And because of that, there is a necessity that all of us, we try to be as truthful as we can. Hence, we usually say that we are driven by truth, love, and trust, because we want to make sure that the hallmark of what we are doing can be something that is helpful, not just to one person, not just to one family, not just to one community, but the whole region. So we have a task to heal ourselves. While you may not have broken what's happening right now, the situation at hand, but you have a responsibility to be a part of the solution. There's also an accountability that comes as a part of it. So today, I simply want to share a few points. What is the process of actually tackling the issues we're dealing with right now? What is the process of ensuring that we get to these solutions? Some of the processes of some of the issues that we are dealing with, you cannot get to a solution before you acknowledge somebody's pain and grievances. And the Congolese people, you right now are pouring your hearts out so that the world can listen to you. And I think we ought to support you. We ought to support you so that you can actually get your grievances out. Get it out of your chest. Whether right or wrong, true or false, get it out of your chest. It's a part of the healing. If you cannot get it out of your chest, you literally will not be very objective. You won't be objective in what you want to share, because your emotion will be getting in front of you before your thoughts, before your thought process. Second, please identify the root cause of the issue. The root cause of the issue is not the who. The who is just a little part of what is happening. Once you understand the root cause of the issue, then You can start identifying, hey, by the way, who are the key figures in this situation? What are the most important key actors, stakeholders in this whole crazy situation we're going through? Because the who is not as important as the why. Who depends on the why always. Why is the issue? Why is it happening to the Congo, the DRC specifically? Why have you been hurting for 30 years with little to no support, with little to no solution to what is happening? Is it really the who? Everybody's very quick to say because it's Rwanda, because it's Uganda, because it's Kagame, because it's Museveni. Guys, they are part of the problem right now. We cannot beat around the bushes. But there's more at stake. There's more to see. Anytime you're addressing this issue, ignoring the fact that before Museveni, before Kagame, there was United States as one of the driving forces in the global politics, the global power hungry nations. There is France, there is Russia, there is China, there is Australia. Kagame, Museveni are the boys who literally were given powers by these powerful nations. I almost forgotten the UK. Without these big nations, you would never have seen Museveni. You would never have seen Kagame. So they are very little pieces of the puzzle. Today, you see Rwanda being paraded on the global scale, on the global carpet as the exemplary nations. But we know there's so much to talk about Rwanda. So much to talk about Rwanda. Rwanda is not as open as you think it is. I cannot talk to you like this if I was in Rwanda, just speaking the truth without beating around the bushes. And most of you who are online pouring out your grievances, you would not be able to speak like that if you are in harm's way. I thank God I'm in the United States. Far away from Katyushas, far away from the bombs, far away from any immediate harm that I can, that I can actually experience. But don't get it twisted, guys. I have been persecuted days in, days out for almost 20 years. I started this almost 20 years ago. You get persecuted by the powers greater than what you think right now, because the stakeholders who can who can bankroll him or her $1 billion in the DRC, in the Greater Lakes region, these are not philanthropies, guys. They're bringing money to make money. They want control. They want to feel the full control of the investment that they have made. They don't want you to come and bust a bubble. They don't want me to come and bust a bubble, regardless of how I feel, regardless of how you feel. Which is why one of the things that I want to propose to you guys, we need to literally understand what is happening and the impact is literally causing to us. If you're interested in what is happening, get beyond your emotions. Not that I am dismissing your emotion. No. Grow out of your emotions and actually stand firm. Stand firm and look for the true solutions. Quickly develop a possible solution. If you develop a possible solution to the problem, then you can also take the spearhead, be one of the first to literally implement that yourself. Don't just hand it over to somebody else. Be a part of the solution. Put your foot in the mud. Put your money where your mouth is. Are we together? Because if that's done, then the healing process begins. We need to heal. You don't need to heal from Moscow. You don't need to heal from Washington. You do not need to heal from UK, from Paris. So it's necessary that we keep it real, guys. I commend so much those of you guys who have been pouring out your heart. It is hard to hear when 5-10 people are speaking speaking together, because someone would say one thing and then they would literally step on your toe. Why? Because the majority of you guys have yet to speak your hearts. Don't go in one of these platforms where you are given 1 minute over grievances that you have built over 20 years, 30 years. That is just not fair. You need time to pour your heart out. You need time to understand the grievances you have even yourself. When you are still full, you will not be able to contribute objectively. You will not be able to see where the issues are, because you still need to be heard first and foremost. And that's one thing that I noticed yesterday, that the majority of people who are speaking for the first time, they're pouring out their heart. Guys, after 30 years for some of them, 40 years to some of them, 20, 10, few years, they've been heard for the very first time. So you can imagine what comes out of it. Could be anger, it could be sadness, it could be regret. There's so much emotion that comes out of it. Let us support them and allow them to go through the phases. These phases would enable them to eventually sit down and say, okay, now that we let it all out, what's next? Without the influence of the United States at hand, without the influence of UK, France, Russia, China, Australia, Germany, the so-called G5, or the nations that are driving forces, literally the nations that are pushing the agenda towards the rest of the world. Remember, the United States is seeking out its own interests. So is the United Kingdom. So is Russia. So is China. So is Australia. Because every single nation has to seek out its own interest first and foremost. You also have to learn, how do I seek out my own interest as a nation? How do we seek out our interests as communities? How do we seek out our own interests as families, collectively? Because that's what is happening today. If we don't beat around the bushes, nothing wrong with looking after yourself. But guys, again, the pendulum is not leveled. There's nowhere someone is gonna come and bully you because they got the microphone, they got the camera, they got all the, they got the power to speak, and you become belittled by their narratives and you let it be. Which is why you also have to, for the lack of a better word, man up. If platforms that are there are not allowing you to speak your heart, create your own platforms. Because these things, guys, you believe you have the free speech, but free speech is limited to the extent that whoever that gives you the platform is able to swallow what you are saying. The minute he or she cannot swallow what you are saying, you are going to lose access to their platforms. So prepare yourself. How can you address your grievances fully, the way it's within your heart? How can you remediate any way that you may lose access to these platforms? Be ready to have contingency plan, so that if what you are saying, any one of these powerful nations isn't liking, if they stop you, continue your ways. DRC is one of the wealthiest nation on planet Earth. The people in the DRC should be the first beneficiaries of their resources, not the United States, not UK, not Germany, not China, not Australia, not France, not Canada. But because a lot of these nations, they're the one that are driving the agenda on the global, on the global platforms. They make you aware. They make sure that you are aware that, hey, I'm here first. If you want to deal with me, I'm gonna hook you up, but I'm gonna hook myself up first. Because we know that that's what is happening right now. We gotta keep it real. How are we going to also look out our own interest if we are not in the driving seat? What does it require to be in the driving seat? Do you have what it takes to be in the driving seat? And if you do not, are you patient enough? Are you disciplined enough to develop those tools that you need to be in the driving seat? Anytime you're depending on somebody else to be your driver, you are going to be at the mercy of their kindness always. So without beating around the bushes, a lot of these social media platforms are there, but they're there to make money. They're there to make influence. They're there to exert. to look after their own interests, first and foremost. As long as you are within the realms that they allow you to operate, they will let you be. The minute you step outside of it, you'll be ejected out like a bad habit. So prepare yourself, guys. Set up platforms of your own. Speak truth to power with unwavering courage. Don't beat around the bushes. If you're wrong, accept that you're wrong. You can't get it right all the time. If you have inaccurate information, take the time to say, hey, listen, I literally shared some bogus information yesterday. Forgive me. But here is the correction to what I have shared with you yesterday. Be very transparent, guys. The minute we learn how to take not just the responsibility towards our own issues, but also become accountable, it is going to be the beginning of long-lasting solutions that our great grandparents were never able to attain. So, my brothers and sisters in the DRC, I, as one of you, brother, I want to publicly say that I'm willing to support you guys on the infrastructure side. We got a studio. We can literally create content, world-class content, tell our own story. We're more than happy to lend you our technical expertise so you can tell the story your own way without someone giving you 30-second soundbite, 1 minute soundbite. You will not be able to hear. You won't be able to hear yourself and also heal yourself. The grievances you have for 30 years, for 25 years, for 20 years, 15, 10, 5, and so on. You won't be able to to put that in a soundbite of 1 minute. It won't be fair. So keep it real, be ready to get in the mud, be ready to put where your mouth is, and be a part of the solution. But also be ready to call out. A lot of these old people who have been a part of the problem and potentially the solutions. Right now, you truly believe that Rwanda is the problem and Uganda is the problem because you see Kagame on one side and you see Museveni on the other side. History has to literally show you how did these two powerful people, powerful presidents or leaders came to be. Museveni didn't fall from the sky and bam, and arrived there. Kagame did not fall from the sky and bam, and arrive there. There were forces behind Kagame, the same way there were forces behind Museveni. Who are those forces? That's what you need to know before you put you point the finger to Kagame. Kagame is just like he's just not only he's like a middleman, he's like a supervisor. You need to know who's the CEO, not the supervisor. The supervisor is serving at the pleasure of the CEO. Museveni, he's an elder statesman. He's in his old ages right now as a president. He's also answerable to other powerful forces behind. He didn't fall from the sky, guys. Get in the history, learn the history. And by all means, guys, do your very best. Do your very, very, very best to stand your ground. Don't hate. Don't hate. Don't hate. But literally dissect the situation for what it is to the best of your knowledge. Try to understand, try to comprehend, try to seek out this possible solution and offer what you believe could be a potential solution to this big monument problem that we have as Africans. DRC, it is crazy that a beautiful country, a powerful nation as such, you are still 30, 40 years after unable to find your own solutions. The citizens of DRC are literally being played like ping pong. They're being tossed around like a ball. It is time that the DRC, young people of all age, you literally stand up, get in the middle of the heat, know that you may potentially get burnt. But bottom line, appropriate the fire. Don't let somebody else drive the fire. Be the driver of the fire. Don't let someone else actually control the narrative. Be the one controlling the narrative. Take over. The people behind what is happening, they are only able to do it because you allow that to happen. The minute you say enough is enough, it will stop. It will stop. But guess what? You gotta be willing to get your hands wet, to get your hands dirty, to get your foot wet, to get your foot dirty. If you're not willing, if you're hiding behind the microphone, if you're hiding behind the keyboard, if you cannot publicly be like, you know what, this is where I stand, you are still going to be a part of the problem, but not part of the solutions. So thank you guys for those of you who have already started. But I want to encourage you, take it to the next step. Speak up publicly. Speak up publicly and unapologetically. Let your face be known. Don't hide behind the microphone, guys. These are serious issues. If you're in the fight, be in the fight. If your foot is in there, let it be there. And let it be known that you are literally there. You meant to be there. So you do not flip-flop because today is hot over there and you want to go where it's hot, and tomorrow is cold. You're running away from cold. Just be in it all the way. Don't do it halfway. Are we together? So that's what I got to share with you guys. It's very important that, brothers and sisters, I openly say that I acknowledge your grievances. I acknowledge the hurt that you have. And we would love to be a part of your solution. What President Kagame or President Museveni may have done or have done in these past 20, 30, 40 years, don't attribute it to every Rwandese person. Don't attribute it to every Ugandan person. The same way what has happened in your nations for 30, 40, 50 years, you cannot attribute it it cannot be attributed to you. You cannot just attribute it to Mobutu. You cannot just attribute it to Kabila. Kabila Senior, Kabila Junior. You cannot attribute it to Tshisekedi. These are managers, guys. These were managers, supervisors. Also get the CEO involved in what is happening. Who is the CEO? Africans, we are still slaves, guys. Modern slaves. We have to acknowledge that, you know what, someone is still calling the shots behind the curtains. We got to get rid of the curtains first and foremost. If you want to be in charge fully. Understanding that you're going to have to take the full responsibility of everything. In other words, the entire life cycle of the situation. Don't just cherry pick what you are able to handle. And because of that, no one single person can handle it all. We're going to have to unite. We are going to have to get together. So these solutions require not just the Congolese, the Ugandans, the Tanzanians, the Rwandese, the Burundis, the Central Africans, the Angolians, the Zambians. It requires the entire Africa, guys. But we have to coordinate our efforts. We have to coordinate and strategize and actually see, hey, where do we begin? And begin. The important thing, we have to begin, and we have to be inclusive, but also not beating around the bush. If someone is a part of the problem, let's put them out there. Whether they're powerful or not, guys, everybody dies at some point. These old people are dying. There's no one single person who lives forever. And because of that, while you may not, you may not want to be the one responsible for them passing on, but you know that as long as they have a problem, if you cannot go toe to toe with them physically or whatever other means you may find it, you may find it fit, Mother Nature is gonna do it itself also. But let us not just wait for the Mother Nature. We have to be bold enough. You gotta be willing to lose your life to save other lives. If you still believe that you are going to be an advocate, if you still believe that you are going to be an activist and you are afraid, you're going to lose your life. Don't be those people who are going to do half the job. Go all in, guys. If you want to be in, if you must be in, go all in. Otherwise, anything short of that, you are going to be shortchanging everybody else. If you gotta take side, boldly take side and explain why you're taking side. I don't have to like it. You don't have to like it. But bottom line, respect it. Are we together? So, guys, that's my 2 cents on what I wanted to share with you. So, some of the steps towards getting to the bottom of the problem and possible solution. First and foremost, we want to be able to acknowledge what is happening, guys. The painful grievances that you have. We want to acknowledge it. Secondly, we want to identify the root cause. Thirdly, you want to investigate the key actors, the stakeholders in the matter, and the dynamics around it. Fourth, you want to assess what is the current impact to you, to your family, to the population. Fully understand it, fully comprehend it. Next, develop a possible solution plan or action plan. Be a part of the ones who are going to implement the action plan as the last step. Don't just give them what you believe it's an action plan. Be a part of it. In this on this side of things, they say put your money where your mouth is. Are we together? So are you gonna punk out? Just talk the talk, or you're also going to walk the walk. That's what I'm going to leave it all to you guys. Thank you kindly for listening to me, to those of you, and thank you so much for watching the broadcast. Guys, those of you on social medias, thank you for those 10 minutes that you have given us earlier. But I want to encourage you that this is our time. This is our time to solve our own issues. You're not going to leave it to the United States, to Canada, to UK, to France, to Russia, to China, to Germany, to be the one providing the solutions for your own lives. They don't even know who you are. Why would you want to give them your own issue and expect them to be the solution, to be the solution provider? Be the solution provider of your own issues. Thank you kindly, guys. I'm Freeman Singirankabo here at AfriDominion. I want to wish you guys a super fantastic day. Those of you guys who are going to bed, have a beautiful night. Those of you who are waking up, have a beautiful morning. Those of you who are on the time of on the same time zone as we are, I want to wish you a beautiful day. Until I see you again, see you later. All the love, guys, and peace be with you all.